Doctor Who Season 2, episodes 30 to 35, titled Chase. And this is the final story of Barbara and Ian as the companions. And these are the first ever companions that are on the show. You know, who knew that a show about two teachers noticing that one of their students had more knowledge or lack of knowledge, that, you know, find her very strange or weird, so they follow her home, which is something you would never be allowed to do now. But, you know, they follow her home to a junkyard. They realize she lives in a box that is big on the inside. She's an alien. She lives with her grandfather, and then time travelers. Okay, who knew that show would last 60 years and have a revival, and to the point to go, oh, Mickey's gonna throw a little bit of money into future seasons, so it's starting from 2023. Yeah, happy birthday, Daleks, Dr. Who. Right, this is a very big show in the UK, and we'll just throw some money into it. Okay, we'll do that. Anyway, I know, Mickey Mouse questions, right? But who knew the show would last 60 years? And they gave this final story to Terry Nation, who did, you know, a Dalek invasion of Earth, which was the final farewell for the final story for Susan. And I'm very surprised they haven't brought Susan back, because she's, you know, now knowing she's a Time Lord, we can easily just say, oh, it's a new actress, you know, Jenny is Susan, you know, that whole thing, right? Now I'm giving the BBC ideas. But how is this? This is a Dalek story. The last one I quite like. You know, the first one, just the one that simply calls the Daleks. I thought it was fine. So how this one is, I thought at the beginning it had some promise. I mean, the concept of, like, this is the first one that the Daleks are like the Doctors. Is an army of old Daleks. So it's the first time they've ever done that, and they have a time machine, and they're going to chase the Doctor and the companions through time and space until everyone is captured. And I'm like, okay, I like the idea. It's 6 parts. Let's see how this goes. You know, when it comes to 6 parts, I'm a little bit like, not fair of that episode. You could easily done this, and this, and this. And sadly, that's the case with this. Because they arrive on this desert planet first. This is before they knew that the Daleks were chasing them. And at the beginning, I'm like, oh no. Are we going to do the Daleks have invaded our planet, please. We want our planet back, which has been the theme for season 2 most of the time. And I'm like, okay, please not. But it stops. I personally believe that storyline could easily be cut out and could have easily just be, everyone is on this planet, they're looking around, they're on one side of the planet, on the other side of the planet, they meet up and they realize that the Daleks are there, and they do the stuff that they do, and then they get into the TARDIS, and the rest of the story holds. But I say that like in the first 2 episodes, right? By episode 3, it gets silly. Absolute. I was like, what am I watching? Like, I get the ideas. Like, if it was like a more modern, like if this story was made in 2022, let's say 23 right now, 2023, it would literally be like a comedic flashback thing where it's like, you know, a lot of green screens, a lot of volume, where it's like, the TARDIS are here, and then the TARDIS disappears on this location, but the Daleks show up, and, you know, kind of like this kind of back and forth, showing a chase, right? But the whole, like, they're at the Empire State Building, which I don't know, Daleks and Empire State Building, you might want to keep that plan, Daleks, you know, tell that was about some Empire State Building and Coco Starro and so pick make some people pigs, like little walking pigs. Just don't think of cloning because you're not going to be a big fan of that. The Doctor's going to look different though. Spiky hair. Might be the best of them, best as doctor of those doctors. And maybe see him twice because he's gonna have a double face. But never know about that part. But Empire State Building might be a neat idea. But there's this gag that just goes on and on and on about. The TARDIS shows up and this Western guy, he's American naturally, and he's like, "Oh my god, you guys doing a movie? Well, with the special effects, all that." And then, the TARDIS disappears. "Oh my god, they're doing trick again. Oh dear lord." And then the Daleks show up and it's like, "Oh dear, oh oh my god, this is a miles of a hole. You testy devils you are." And then, and it happens, and I'm like, okay, this is good. We're ending it. Good. It's done. Then we're on the ship, but I'm like, oh, what? They're on the Titanic or something? No, they're not on the Titanic. But I was like, what is happening? And then Daleks are shooting like these sailors, all that. And then we go to the Monster Mash, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, this literally. You see Daleks fighting Dracula and Frankenstein. Well, technically the creature, but Frankenstein. And I know it's the cat. I know it's Dracula because the guys, because Dracula keeps like to remind me that his name is Dracula. He's like, "I am Count Dracula." Like, let's say that's what he does. And I'm like, okay, this is just getting like absolutely stupid on the place. I was like, maybe this should be like 4 episodes or 3, maybe 4, maybe 4 episodes. Combined stuff. But when we get to Metro, which is the planet of the Metroids, this is the introduction of the Metroids, which my exposure to the Metroids the title of the Dalek animated series that they did on YouTube for that tied in Time Lord Victorious, that multi-platform story thing, which I cover all of it. Which I can't believe I covered all of it. Jeez, that was a whole a matter to behold. But what and all that, and after that, I was like, this is neat. I like it. Even though the robot doctor, that just felt like so tacked on. Like, I like the whole, okay, they go on the planet, what is it? It's by the Metroids, and then the Daleks show up, and then the Daleks, you got the Metroids versus the Daleks. I like that. I like that stuff. But there's so much stuff in this that I'm like, that is stupid, or that's not stupid, it's just like, oh, you're adding on all the other stuff. A robot doctor that is clearly some new bloke of the week, which is, the first Doctor. It's not the first time that will happen. 5 Doctors, anyone? Which I have never seen, but I know that's a thing. And it just, but here's the thing, I like the Metroids. I do like the Metroids. I do like them. We do get introduced to a new companion, named Steven Tyler, and it's too small of a sample size, but because he will be in the Time Meddler, we will have a more bigger understanding of who this cat is. But he just feels a little bit like when you have Ian and then Steven next to each other, you're just kind of thinking, yeah, you're kind of like your standard male companion and all that. So I'm like, okay. Now the actual exit itself, like the last 6 minutes of the story, where they got the Daleks time machine, and Barley and Ian are like, we could actually go home. This could be a chance to go home. I'm like, this is fun with the Daleks and Marco Polo and these crazy adventures, but it's time to. I think it's time we go back to our normal lives. And the Doctor is not happy. He is not a happy chappy. He is resentful. He's like screaming on top of his lungs. And I'm like, this feels very Capaldi. And I think, because I remember what turned off season 8 for a lot of people was that the Doctor seemed unlikable. And I think what it is you can clearly tell with Capaldi's Doctor season 8, and then and what Moffat was trying to do was like bring back to like the classic era Doctors where it was like the grumpy old man. But I think what it is it's a different era, a different time. Back then it was like, yeah, grumpy old man, he is who he is, and the companions just tag along with him. Now we live in a world where it's not just, it's the classic, we need to care about the character, we need to root for the character, and if he's acting like a dick, why should I care, why should I be invested? And then it also makes the companions look bad because it's the classic, it's like having, it's like someone who keeps staying with someone but their other half is cheating on them constantly. You're questioning yourself, why are you with this guy? Why? It's no longer just he's traveling through time and space, duh, like who would it? It's like, yeah, but I want to tag time and space is great, but I want you want the Doctor to be a person you want to tag along with, and that's why I think a lot of people are very glued to Tom Baker or David Tennant or Matt Smith or Joey Whittaker versus Peter Capaldi, because here's the thing, classic era loves people fans who are huge fans of the classic era love the Capaldi's Doctor. They love that version of the character. But I feel like that might be a thing of like the modern era, the revival era versus classic era, where like you like this, but I think the average goer likes this more, where like they want the Doctor that you want to tag along with, not like you don't want to make sure you're getting yelled at. Which I probably will talk about when I get to season 8 to 12, when I get to the 12th Doctor stuff, which is a long way away. But the actual exit itself, I kind of like. I really like it. It's not. It's kind of the opposite of season. It's quite the opposite of Susan's exit. When Susan's exit, it's very saddened. You can also tell William Hartnell did not want her to go, and same with Barbara and Ian. With those actors, you could tell like he did not want them to go. And I was like, this is some more peace. They arrive at their time and they live their lives, and and they in 1965, 1963. It's like it's just 2 years has gone by and all that, and I'm like, this is a nice peaceful ending. And knowing that, I mean, for Ian, we wouldn't have seen him until literally a few months ago with the Power of the Doctor, when nearly at the end you have all the companions having a intervention and talking about like their experience with the Doctor, and him having the line of, "I'm sorry, did you say her?" Because naturally, like the last time that he saw the Doctor was Hartnell. So you know him as a the character as a he, and the moment you hear she, you're like, I'm sorry, what? But and with Barbara, she doesn't show up till the Five Doctors, how that comes up, because naturally it's like 20 years in age and all that. But yeah, it's just it is a bit of a mess. There's some things I'm like, oh god, but there's some good stuff in there that I'm like, okay, this is neat. I can see how someone might like it. And it might be as goofy as it can get. It might be the joy of it. Also, it's kind of fun when you see a shout of a boom pole or a shotgun mic in the frame, or the camera getting knocked over, and it's like the cameraman like needs to quickly zoom on back to the person because he's getting knocked over. Because they literally had only 90 minutes to film the entire 20-ish minute episodes, so they only had 90 minutes, so it kind of had to be filmed like a play, and that and also I thought like. Did a Dalek got stuck in one of the fungus trees? I think a Dalek got stuck in one of the fungus trees. But I'm going to have a laugh. But you laugh because not because of, it took me out, how stupid is this? But you laugh at it because how you know the time frame. You know that this is a show as big as it was for the BBC. It wasn't as the concept of Mickey Mouse giving them $10 million back. If you told them that, first thing first, $1 million back then was like giving them, $1 trillion. But if you told them like, Disney wants to help you out making a bigger budget, they would go, tell you nuts. So it's a. Yeah, we only got one more story left, the Time Meddlers, for season 2, and then it's 4 more stories of the 10th Doctor, the First Doctor, and then we're done. And the interesting thing about the 10th Planet, which is the final story with the First Doctor, is that you have the animation recreation stuff. So that's gonna be the first. I might have to ask someone, because I know I checked. Galaxy 4 comes out, is in season 3, so I probably will ask someone if I can borrow their copy, while I'm like in the middle of like season whatever, but to do a little bit of backtracking. But my thoughts. I realize I'm going on a lot. I realize this is a 18-minute video, but I had a lot of thoughts. This might be the longest video of me talking about the show in general. But next time